I'm with the magic man. You see, I'm in black and he's in black. Dear magic man name is Wolfgong Riebe. He makes people happy. He makes introductions, speeches powerful. He makes people enjoy, not listen to boring presentations, sleep and yawn. He is making people alive. So he's my man, Wolfgang Riebe. Happy to see you.
Thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Dear Wolfgang, my first question to you. You are famous for magical meetings. You make people feel good. And you say that, of course, hard work is important, especially you are from Germany. And I know that people in Germany, they are famous for work with great discipline. I don't want to offend any other nationality, but let's say some nations, maybe it's Russian, Arabic, Indian, there is not a picture that they work so hard. But when we say German people, we imagine working hard and discipline. How can you connect magic with discipline? I think it's not possible.
Well, my German family cannot connect it. They think I'm crazy. They all said I had to go and study, and that's why I went and did postgraduate degrees and thesis and all that, just to get them to calm down. But yes, you can, because magic takes practice, and you have to do things over and over until you can get them perfect. So there's an incredible amount of discipline involved, as well as the market that I chose to be an entrepreneur in, let's say the meetings and events market, where you have to think out of the box. You have to sell something which the average conference organizer has never thought of. So you're going against the grain. So that takes a lot of discipline, and especially in quiet times and like COVID times, you can't just give up. You've got to keep on going, and you've got to build your name out there.
That is absolutely true. In some of your interviews, you said that you even know that the magic can explain how brain works, can help with customer experience, how you can help us, how you can understand, how you can help reach the people with the magic. For me, I agree with you. My magic, I'm director and producer of the movies. I produce movies about marriages. I produce movies about resilience, about people who are in love with each other, believe it or not, for 70 years. They're 80 years old, but 70 years, they're in love with one person. For me, it's a magic. I think life is very boring without magic. So how you do it, Wolfgang?
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that, it's all about position. And can put this into perspective for you in a short story. When I was a youngster, I was also a professional ice skater. And when I was 18, I was in my first ice show, and I was playing one of the skating roles as well in magic. In fact, it was Aladdin on ice. I was Abracadabra, the wicked magician. And afterwards, a young girl came up to me and she said to me, "You do what people dream about doing." And at that time, I was young. I didn't quite understand. And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "People dream of dancing on ice, and people dream of having magic or powers, and that's what you do." And that inspired me for the rest of my life, because I find that too many people don't follow their dreams. They listen to what society and family expects them to do, and they're unhappy in what they do. So when you are happy, that makes a big difference. And when I walk onto a stage, I think authenticity is number one. People can see I'm genuine. I go out there and I have fun. And that fun, that energy rubs off on other people. And it's also very important that it's never about me. It's about having magic, creating memorable, magical moments with the audience out there. I mean, I can give you a silly example. You know, if I'm working for a bank and the bank doesn't want you to use cash, they want you to use credit cards. Let me see. I've got a dollar note here. So they say they rather people use credit cards. I can go in and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, you know, cash is not as safe as a credit card," and change it visually into a credit card. You see, no camera tricks, live. So people will remember the message so much more powerfully, and it's fun. So I joke a lot, I have fun, and I just show the people I'm a normal person like them, and we can all have a magical life.
So you are Wolfgang, you're a magician, you're not a businessman, you are not business consultant.
Yes, I am. I'm a business consultant, but I use magic as a medium. So I studied business. That's what I did my thesis in, complexity thinking. but it's so boring. So if you come and you do something else like this, it wakes the people up. You're taking a normal business session and you're adding life to it. Isn't that what it's about? In fact, that's what happened to me last week in Dubai. People were coming, oh, we can't believe you added life to the business session. I'm doing tricks with ropes around team building and I'm getting the message cemented in. At the end of the day, if you think about it, the company's spending, what, hundreds of thousands, millions to fly people from all over the world for a convention. At the end of the day, there's one core message they need to get across. How often do they actually do that? You get a guy like me coming in that has a bit of fun, everyone remembers that. And they might remember the trick, but 3 weeks later when they remember the trick, they remember the message associated with it. And what better return on investment than doing something like that?
Do you think that you work more as an actor, as a Lady Gaga, Madonna, Michael Jackson? Is it more like a performance or no? It's not being an actor.
When you're younger, I think when I was younger, it was more of a performance because you're trying to find your own style. Now, this is me, this is who I am, and I am just me. I'm just genuine. I think where experience system just puts you above everything else because you don't have to prove anything. People can see in your behavior and what you're doing that you actually care, you're sincere in what you do. And that makes a big difference.
How do you, Wolfgang, combine that with your Germany roots? Because as I asked you before, it cannot be, if you are from France, because French people are famous for their glamour, their, accent and their dolce vita like Italian, but Germans not. They are famous for their organization. And how you combine it with your roots?
The reliability. If I tell a client I'm going to be there, I'm there. My word is my bond. That's the only thing. I don't even live in Germany. I live in Switzerland now, and for most of my life I lived in Cape Town in South Africa because it's just a more friendly, relaxed lifestyle. I would say that I'm a bit more African than I am European, and that doesn't make a difference.
What this experience in Cape Town teach you? Because I know that a lot of people, if I'm allowed to say that, white people who live in the Cape Town, they are completely different. I had the film director with me. His name is Richard. He was 2 meters high, and in Cape Town he used to have a monkey and it was always on his shoulder. So I will say it's different people who get used to different life, and they're really very friendly, and also they're very strong. They're ready to protect themselves. Life in Cape Town, what did it teach you?
Yeah, well, contrary to what the newspapers and the press tell you and the politicians tell you, the life there versus the reality is I have more diverse and multicultural relationships and friends in South Africa than I have anywhere in Europe. And that's important to understand. We also have a lot more fun with each other. People don't really have hang-ups. So also getting in all the different cultures, we interact with each other in a different way. That helps. And also the sun. The sun is open. And yes, it is adventurous. You've got poison spiders and snakes, and I've got a friend in the north that keeps lions with him. I go to visit him, and these 9-month-old lions come running at me the first time I freaked out. It's just a completely different lifestyle. And I think in a sense, it's more earthy. The people are very grounded because it's a developing country, let's say between third world and first world. It's tough there. There's no social system. So you're not relying on the government. If anything, the government is stealing from the people the whole time. So what happens is the people have to stick together. You have to have a network. You have to rely on each other. So you find a big cohesiveness. And also between people of different cultures. And that's very special.
So we will say that this life in Cape Town in Africa, it was a precious experience to you. Maybe this experience you will never find in Europe.
Yeah, because I always laugh when people in Europe say, we've studied organizational culture and we're multicultural. I'm like, yeah, okay, let me tell you what multicultural is. Yes, I mean, I've really experienced it hands-on.
What was the most difficult for you there? What was the challenge?
The challenge, I think, in the beginning is the huge diversity of thinking. And that's why I focused on the EMEA market, like I said in the beginning. it's that the thinking is very much more visual rather than abstract and academic. In a sense that if let's say, for example, I'm up in Rwanda and Kigali, and recently I did a Coca-Cola conference, and they had a problem that the 4 business units throughout Africa were not speaking to each other, and they were keeping things from each other. So they were duplicating, if not quadrupling, all information and work. So they had to get this message across. And again, they tried what they did. So what I did, I just did a funny little thing with cups on the head with water. And I just had a guy close his eyes and tap it 3 times, and then told him to turn it over. And while his eyes were closed, I drank my cup of water because I was doing what he was doing. And then, of course, being a big black man, much bigger than me, he was like, no, we're not going to do it. And I'm like, trust me. With trust, we connect. And when he turned it over, no water came out, and the magic happened. I just said, look, if you trust each other, magic. I think because the culture and the way that people think there, it kind of blew the roof off the convention center. And the people came to me and said, we've never had anybody submit a message like that. It's also to understand that had you done that from a European perspective or from an American perspective, I don't think I would have hit home the same way. And it's being respectful of the culture, but also understanding how the people think. You can only really do that anyway if you've been there and have the life experience.
Wolfgang, this is very interesting to know, because what I heard from other people from France who live in South Africa, it's very similar to what you say. And I know that a lot of people fell in love with that country. And this country is a little bit underestimated. We don't know that much. It's not in the news. Only we know Lion King, Hakuna Matata or something like this. And it's not, but it's amazing because it's a different world at the end of the days.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we have a joke because Cape Town is called the Mother City. And they always say, why is it called the Mother City? Because everything takes 9 months. It is slow. It is not Europe. But the thing is, the people are more genuine. The people are more open. The first thing, when I was in Dubai in the Middle East now, I've been living in Switzerland for a long time, and COVID has not kept us in. You get there, people are smiling, people are friendly. You go down to Africa, people are open. Here, it's very reserved, and I'm not used to that. So I find that very
tell me, please, Wolfgang, this reserve, they're afraid to share business secrets with you. They're afraid that you will find out about their personal life. They're afraid that you will ask loan from them. What are they afraid of? This is one of the richest countries in the world, one of the best economists, one of the safest countries.
Well, let's see what happens in the next few months. I think if you study organizational culture, like Hofstede, the famous Dutch guy, if you've ever gone into that side, it's one thing to study it on paper, but to understand the cultures. And in Germany, if you're an academic and you're too friendly with another academic, they disrespect you. They don't think that you. It's a way of thinking that people have been brought up with, and it's not to say it's wrong. We've all had our own cultures that we've been brought up in, but it's to be man or woman enough to understand. I always say, I always respect everybody first. I never expect respect for me. I respect everybody else first. What they do with that respect determines our relationship forward. And I find that if you just accept others for who they are, listen a little bit more, then you can connect with them. But I think Europe, they call it the old world, not the new world. And there's a reason for that, because they set in their ways. Why did America start? Because people got sick and tired of the old thinking, and they went and started another country. And I think that old, and I must be in trouble for saying that, but I think it's very much still stuck here. I see that a lot, especially coming from a country which has been more open, where you've had to survive, where you've had to fight. It's easy to become entitled when you have a social system where everything works. But I also think you get a bit lazy. If you brought up in a country, I would say in the Far East, or in Africa, or even, let's say, the East Bloc countries, it was a struggle. It was much harder. You had to fight. You didn't get anything for nothing. You had to survive. And I think that survival instinct has gone in the West, which kind of makes people a bit more arrogant, and I think not as open as they should be.
This is interesting observation. And my last question to you, it's about emotional awareness, about emotional intelligence. Now everybody's speaking about that, but to tell the truth, nobody knows. What is that? There's so many books. Nobody knows who is this emotional intelligence. What is this? As Arabic say, shuhada. What is that? Nobody knows exactly. For me, emotional intelligence is what you said before, to be able to listen to the person, try to understand what he's saying, try to know maybe, okay, this is Wolfgang, he's from Switzerland, but a big part of his life he spent in South Africa. Maybe he's a little bit more educated and intelligent than other Europeans who didn't visit that place. He has a bigger picture. Listen to him. Maybe there is something you can study from him. And then you can connect, but you will not say, oh, no, I'm not speaking to Germans, I'm not speaking to Russians, I'm not speaking to Indians because I don't deal with them. What is emotional awareness and the emotional intelligence for you personally?
You know, it makes me think. I like to keep things simple. And emotional intelligence reminds me of a very old and very basic saying, which goes, we have two eyes and two ears and only one mouth, so that we see and hear twice as much as we speak or say. And I think that's like what I said earlier on, is listen to somebody else. Try and put yourself in their shoes before you judge them. I think the Western world and the Western media has become too materialistic and judgmental. And I have a rule. I don't watch the news and I don't read the newspaper because I don't want to be influenced by this celebrity nonsense the whole time. To me, I have to be content within myself. I cannot judge my happiness by the happiness of others. I cannot judge somebody else's lifestyle if I don't put myself in their shoes. So for me, emotional intelligence is, first of all, I have to be content within myself. And when I'm happy with who I am, then I don't have a problem being happy for who you are and what you're doing out there.
So it's more about self-confidence and self-resilience. Then you can survive anything, earthquake, pandemia, corona, because you are strong, because you are not somebody flying on the wind. They said I don't like Wolfgang. Because you cannot be loved by everybody at the end of the day.
Exactly. That's it.
Now it's really my last question. What is, Wolfgang, your biggest dream at the moment?
At my age now, health and happiness. I think more health. I've pretty much seen the world. I've done what I've enjoyed. Now it's to leave a legacy and to share with others, to continue doing this and to have the health to do it. That's about it.
What do you consider by now your biggest achievement?
Being content with myself. I think so. And you know what? I've got a YouTube channel where I've got over 1,000 free videos. A lot of my colleagues go, "Why do you do all this stuff for free?" It's because life is about sharing. One day when you're not here, what have you left behind? Not always about money. Yes, money is important, but I believe in karma. What comes around and goes around, and the more you put out there, the more kindness, the more good you put out there that you leave behind for others, the more enriched your life will become.
Let it be like this. Hidden Hero supports you. Let you be surrounded by great people. Let you enjoy your travel. Let you stay that positive. And I'm not sure that you're exactly from Switzerland, because you have a very big, broad mind. And really, I'm very happy to see you. Thank you for coming in black, because we are matching people today. I was happy to meet you. Merci beaucoup.
Likewise, Olga.
Au revoir.